Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on a Saturday here in Melbourne, of course, on the Queen's birthday weekend here in Melbourne. But of course, let's go out to our friends up in Brisbane, of course, which would have been if everything all went to plan. And of course, speak with the Mayne Tigers in particular. Of course, they got a big game this weekend. Of course, they play Morningside today in a chance to try to hold on to their spot in the top four. And of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us all about it. Thanks, Bree, for joining us.
No worries. Looking forward to it.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position we hopefully seeing both of you on the field against Morningside.
My name's Emily, and I'm playing centre half forward today. I used to play ruck and have given up on that because it was hurting my body a bit much. And yeah, centre half forward. So hopefully I'll kick some goals.
Nice. Okay. I kind of done a few things. I think today I'm probably just playing in the midfield a little bit, but the past couple of weeks I've been having a go at ruck. And then before that I was doing some fullback. So yeah, just finding my feet a little bit and loving it. But yeah, we'll see what today brings. I'm not sure actually.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Cara. Sorry. Hey, I'm Cara.
Well, let's talk about last week's game first. You played against Moreton Bay last week and beat them fairly easily at the end. Tell us a bit about that game.
It's probably the best game for us as a team. I think we really clicked. Obviously, this is Mayne's first season with a women's team. So it's taken a little while for us to warm up, and we have quite a few new girls. We've probably got 10 girls in our team who have never played before. And I think this week it's about our fifth or sixth. And so everyone's sort of picking up on the rules and yeah, working really well as a team, getting the communication up, I think.
I think that's definitely gotten better in the past couple of weeks. It's really noticeable, girls coming from, I think, like netball, and there's a little bit of communication in those sports, but it's a bit different when you're on an outside field that's the size that it is. I think every week we play, there's like little different things that we get better at, and then maybe also have to work on a little bit more, and it changes every game. But last week really did feel to like click together a little bit better, which was nice.
Just got to get better at converting the goals. We kick a lot of points.
We kick a lot of points. I reckon, yeah. How many points do you reckon we kicked last week?
So many points.
Yeah.
Personally, I kicked quite a few.
Perfect segue to my next question, because the team kicked 4 goals 11 last week against Moreton Bay.
I reckon Emily had about 10 points.
Yeah. No goals.
Oh my God.
So my question I was going to ask is, I'm assuming goal kicking was the main focus this week at training, considering your backline did a fantastic job in not letting any score at all.
Yes, it was a very large part of training this week. Actually, it's been a bit of a focus most weeks, and we're hoping, I think we seem to get it, like we get good marks around the 50.
We have it in our forward 50
so
a lot
much
of the game.
And a lot of it's getting the distance. We're probably 30 or 40 metres out, and we just can't, well, for me at least, I can't kick that far. And so it seems to dribble over into the points line or get touched a lot. So I think we did a lot of working on how we can get it a bit closer to goal before we attempt to score. So yeah, big focus, hoping for 3 goals today.
I think we also we do a good job. Yeah, when we're in there, I think we're doing a better job of like clearing out a little bit. I think at the start of the season we had a lot of issues with crowding, and so like once it's getting a bit more free now and we're kind of understanding that a bit better, it'll get easier for our goal kickers. So
yeah. Here's hoping.
You mentioned about goal kicking this season. Just having a look at some of the results. Yes, you have a fair few behinds this year. Now, I know, I'm not going to harp on it so much, but how much improvement
has it? Keep going. Please. She needs it in her head for this game.
Yeah. I got a proving ground.
So compared to the first game where the team kicked 1 goal 9, how much big improvement has this year been in regards to goal kicking compared to, considering, as I said, the team kicked 1 goal 9 against Mount Gravatt in a draw?
Yeah, like Cara said, we had with a lot of the new girls, and also girls, like I haven't been playing footy for that long, we have a tendency to kind of follow the ball a bit too much. So in the first few games we had you could literally probably throw a blanket over all of us and there'd be way too many people in the forward 50. So I think last week and the week before we're getting a bit more used to having only the forwards in the forward 50 and leading and sort of learning how to create space much better. So last week was better, but obviously I think we're on the uphill trajectory, and we're gonna kick some more goals. But a lot of the time we get it into our forward 50 and we don't utilize it quick enough, and it sort of gets stuck in there, and then that gives the back line of the other team a lot like chance to get all of their people in, and so it gets really clogged up. So hopefully we've been working on getting goals and converting quicker. As soon as we get it into the 50, we get a mark rather than sort of dilly-dallying around.
I think also from what I remember from our first game, our coach's tactic, because I don't think he really knew what to expect with us, and none of us did, was kind of like, if you get it anywhere near the goal, like if you mark it or have the ball anywhere near the goal, just turn and get it towards there. It doesn't matter if it's points, goals, whatever it is, get it towards the goals. Whereas now I think definitely focusing more on, okay, let's actually try and get it through the goalpost. So
Also helps that we've recruited in the last two games Erin, who used to play VFL.
That's been good.
She kicked 2 of our goals last week. So shout out to Erin.
Yeah.
So this week you play Morningside on the road. They're at Morningside. Obviously, they're trying to fight for your spot in the top 4. I guess how important is this game regarding to the season, knowing that if you win, you got a chance to maybe go to 3rd, or if you lose, you drop outside the top 4.
Yeah, well, very important. I think as well for a new team, getting wins and getting the confidence up is probably what's most important for us. So especially for people who haven't played before, getting confident with their abilities. And once we get a win, especially off our win last week, everyone's feeling pretty good. And morale was high at training. So another win this week would be really good for us, I think.
Tell us a bit about your coaches.
Well, we've got Wayne, who's our first coach, and he is Grace in our team. He's Grace's dad. And he used to coach the under-17s women's team at Everton Park. I think he's been coaching there for years. Very dedicated, loves footy. Like, he loves footy, loves beers, just gets right around it. So, yeah, we're really lucky to have him. He's so passionate and keeps the vibes high, which I think is really important in all sport in general, and especially women's sport. He's really good.
Taekwondo.
Yeah. He also does Taekwondo. And so he just loves like getting physical, and he's really passionate.
He's great for confidence, I think. He really, kind of gets around us and like tells us to pull our head in a little bit when we're being girls. And it's really good. Oh yeah, and then our second coach is Lockie, and Lockie's he's probably around our age, and he's really great with skills. We get a lot out of him for skills. For me personally, like I've only ever really played 9-a-side before this, and I come from a basketball sort of background, so my skills definitely need a lot of work, especially my kicking. I really struggle with consistency, and he's really great for in trainings when obviously Wayne's doing our main drills. Like anytime you just go up to him and go, oh, I'm getting really frustrated with this, or like I don't know why this isn't working, and he'll have a look at your kick or whatever you're struggling with, and he'll just really like know exactly what we need to work on. And so I think that's been so helpful, coming from a team where we've got ex-VFL players and we've got people who've actually never played a contact sport before. So it's, Lockie's really great for us.
Agreed.
Now tell us a couple of players in your team in your first year that's had a fantastic season so far, and you can't include each other or yourselves.
Imagine yourself.
And we're like, me.
I think probably first one for me would be Hannah. She plays centre half back. She's played centre half back the whole season, and she's literally she's so reliable. I don't know how, but she plays hockey is her background, and she's plays hockey before she plays football,
Yeah.
and then comes to the game, is full of energy and an excellent runner, really fit, and she just gets to the ball before her opponent every single time and can absolutely bomb it. So just gets it straight out of the...
Every time it's in her hands, you're like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. No, and she can kick probably 40 meters plus. So she gets it really far. So yeah, we rely on her a lot.
I think for me, it'd probably be Holly. Holly comes from a netball background. She's quite young. And she just, like, her improvement, I think, like, she came from a space of really just not being able to, this is going to sound really bad, like not being able to like kick the ball or really know what footy is as a concept, but she's just so willing. She comes to every training. Like, I could count on my hand how many times she hasn't been to training since we started training in December. She, like, every game, if you've got anything to say to her, any sort of criticism or anything to tell her, she just takes it all on board. And I think, like, it's really great to see someone who's so willing and wanting to learn and to get better. So yeah, really appreciate her, I think.
Bless.
Now, how did both of you get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
I started playing football last year. It was literally a COVID thing. We were in lockdown, and my brother, he plays rugby, and we'd always go to the park and kick the footy because that was pretty much all we were allowed to do. And I was like, oh, women's footy. I was watching the AFLW, and I also played a lot of water polo, which is quite physical, and I loved the physicality. It's great to let out all the rage. And so I just decided one day after I was kicking with Jack that started at Wilson Grange. So I went down to the field, just rocked up and was like, I'm here to play footy. And yeah, never looked back. I really enjoy it. Mostly I actually wanted to play for the physicality. I just love tackling people. So that's probably why I started.
You also got like really good at it really quickly. Like, I feel like you went through a really intense development stage last season, and that was really good for you. Hey?
Yeah, I think playing ruck, especially coming from a basketball background, it's sort of, the concepts of ruck are pretty easy to pick up on in terms of, it's like doing a layup pretty much. And so going straight into being able to do something and I could definitely not kick. My skills were terrible. And so being able to actually serve a purpose and play a role early on is really good, I think, from my perspective.
Yeah. I think for me, a little bit similar. I come from a basketball background. Like, basketball was always kind of my life from a very young age. And I just, was kind of half-hearting basketball a little bit, and decided that I wanted to do something else. I went over to Germany for a uni exchange, and you'll be shocked to hear that Germany and Europe in general really loves AFL. I don't know whether it's like Australians going over and starting up these clubs, but they have like a full Euro League over there. So I played for the Berlin Crocodiles, but only have a nine-a-side. Like, I played nine-a-side in high school and nine-a-side in Germany because you don't get enough players. And I loved it. It was bloody cold, but I loved it. And then I had to come home because of COVID, which was really sad. And I think I was really sad when I got home and kind of missed the people that I met through AFL in Germany. So I was like, oh, I want to play footy. And then Emily and some of our other friends were in the men's team at Mayne, and were like, oh, we're having an inaugural team. So yeah, just thought it was a natural thing, and I've loved it. I honestly wish that I came over to footy a long time ago, to be honest.
Me too.
So considering both of you come from a basketball background, am I assuming that both of you have played against each other in basketball before you came to footy?
Correct.
So you might as well tell us.
Emily's always she was I think an age group above me, and so she was always the scary older gal who didn't want to come up against.
Oh, scary.
She's far more physical than I am. I'm a bit of a weakling, so
pretty much just answered that question anyway. I was going to ask, so I might move on to the next one then. So how good is it to play with each other on the same team in the very first Tigers women's football team?
We love it. We love it. I think the thing that I noticed most from coming from basketball is the culture around football.
Yeah.
Like, everyone of just really gets around it. We're so lucky that we've got the 3 boys teams who are really excited. I think they must have pushed to have a women's team, so they come to our games and like they support us, and they're so vocal.
Yeah,
Sometimes
so
a little
vocal.
too vocal,
So
but
vocal.
yeah, they come, and yeah, I think it's definitely the culture that I love. And Cara and I both have noticed that since coming from basketball, we've made a lot of friends, and yeah, we the social aspect's really good. We love it.
Yeah, I'd say just AFL, like, I think I always knew that was going to be the case coming from, well, I think we both grew up on AFL, like you, kind of Melbourne, Victoria, and I was from South Australia. So it was, one, good to kind of play a sport that you've always watched. But yeah, 2, I'd say, like, in basketball, I didn't find that the men's and women's teams mixed in as much. And it's really cool in footy to feel like the men are always like really wanting everyone to be involved, and like even the our pres Russ just puts so much effort into making us involved and like doing heaps of social stuff. It's a lifestyle, I'd say, which is just really, really cool. I love that.
I don't know, you pretty much just answered my next question, which is, what does the sport of football mean to both of you, especially being there at Mayne Tigers?
Yeah, I think probably the answer is culture. We've got a ball coming up, and we all get dressed up and go. And last week we went to the boys' game, and they always come and run water for us. And I think for me, I obviously love it because I really like being outdoors, so I like being able to play outdoors. And then yeah, just the social aspect, it's good. And I like the fact that it's something that women probably previously it wasn't as, or maybe it didn't have access to, weren't many teams. And now, especially since the Brisbane Lions have won this year in Queensland, it's just like the interest in women's AFL skyrocketed. So it feels really special to be a part of a primarily men's team that have opened up to women. So yeah.
I think also for me, it was a bit of a fitness thing. I think it's a lot easier. Obviously, if you want to be good at any sport, you've got to be fit, but it's a lot easier to kind of get by in basketball, just not really, I was going to say not really focusing on your own fitness. Whereas I feel like in AFL, you really can't do that. You've got to really put a focus on yourself and being strong. Like, I found that I wasn't very strong or balanced, and this has really made me, like, doesn't give you anywhere to hide it. You got to be fit in preseason and keep working on it. And so I've kind of loved what footy has given back to like my body, I'd say. Like, I feel like it's given me a lot in that way. So yeah, I think there's so much you can get out of footy in general. So yeah.
What position do you want to play on the field if you had a choice? And here's your chance now to maybe mention for the next couple games which position you would rather be playing.
Is Mayne going to be watching this? Like, is he anytime soon?
I don't think this is ever going to happen, but I would like to play like in the midfield. I'm just too slow though. I think if I got fit. We're really lucky. We have some really fast mids. We have quite a few army girls because we're near their barracks, and they are so quick, like, and really fit.
So quick. So like anyone who's like kind of like us and probably not the sprinters of the team, it makes us look really slow when we're going for the ball. But
yeah,
I think you could do midfield.
Nah, I think I'd have to get a bit faster. I have to work on my speed. But yeah, I reckon midfield, if I could put in some serious work in preseason.
I reckon I'm not really sure. I kind of like all the things that I've done. I definitely would prefer to be in the backs than the forwards. I think the forward stresses me out a little bit. I don't think I understand how to play there yet. But I do. I think the position that I feel most comfortable in is like ruck or in that kind of midfield position. But I do also like I'd say anywhere in the backs is a bit of fun. So yeah.
Wayne, if you're listening, keep me out of the back line.
Yeah.
Never ever put me in the back line.
She just wants to kick goals
or points.
Well, we'll finish up with a couple of lighthearted questions as well, which is there anyone on your team that had any embarrassing moments on the field?
I reckon you're right. performance last week was pretty embarrassing.
There were some good ones. It was just either awful or I was struggling with the actually getting my hand to hit the ball. And the other ruck was as well. So it would just like, it's not like I was missing the ruck taps. It was like we were both going up and it would like hit me on the head. So that was not, the one in the first,
Yeah. There were some funny ruck taps.
Yeah.
Where the ball would just go up and you'd both go up to hit it. You'd both miss and the ball would just like bounce.
And then like
on
look
the ground.
around for it.
I think I've had some pretty bad kicks to goal. I kicked about 2 weeks ago, got a good mark in the forwards and kicked it straight out on the full. And it was like, it was
a good mark. It was like, it looked really impressive.
Yeah. And then kicked it like, I just must have completely shanked it and it just went so far out of the ball. It almost went behind me. Honestly, it was so bad. That's probably my embarrassing moment.
I can't think of, yeah.
No one else really has any.
I was going to say, I think if you're looking for embarrassing moments, it's probably us and everyone else is pretty put together.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I have one. One of our fastest girls, like, she is everywhere. She's just all over the ball, Steph. She in the first game that she played, she was running and like I think everyone had always told her to touch the ball on the ground, like, you know, while we're trying to learn to bounce it and whatever. And she did one of do you do this in rugby where you tap it on your foot?
Yeah.
Like she's running, she like tapped it on her foot and we were all like, oh no. No.
She must have thought that that's what you did in AFL. Yeah. She did
so
a tap
good.
and play on and everyone's like
what? Looks good, but wrong sport.
Any comedians?
I think everyone has their funny moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty all even. There's definitely some like we like having a laugh.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Gotta have a laugh.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's a natural comedian.
No.
And it's more laughing at each other.
At each other. Yeah.
Singers or dancers in the team we should know about?
Taylor is we have a girl with a musical theatre background. And she loves a bit of High School Musical, or she's really good. She's actually really good. So like she'll sing and you'll be like, oh, she can actually sing.
Yeah.
And then we have we try and like get a bit of music. We all love music, and I think that really like pumps us up for games. And our captain Paige, we kind of took turns, everyone like making a playlist and that kind of thing. And our captain Paige, it was her turn. For like a training playlist or something, and she started playing like what was it? It was like she had like Mozart, and
it was so
like it was real like,
and everyone was like,
oh,
what is this?
A very acquired musical taste, I think, but yeah,
bit on.
Oh, that's a long time. Long time ago. That sort of music.
Yeah.
He's an old soul.
Is there anyone on the team into their TikToks?
No. I think we all watch them, but we're all a bit. I don't think anyone. I could be wrong. Maybe they do make them.
I think we're
Surely
all just
our
like
young ones,
serial TikTok scrollers.
Yeah, like for hours.
Yeah. But I don't think anyone's I don't know. I
I
don't
think
think anyone would.
We have 3 or 4 quite young girls, but I don't think they'd tell us if they did make TikToks.
No. Does anyone who makes TikToks tell anyone?
Yeah, that's true.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
For me, I had a one game where I forgot my socks and I had to borrow our captains. We have like short ones and like long socks. And I borrowed the long socks, and that was definitely not a game for me. So I tell you what, I'll never be wearing long socks again. They not only do they look awful, but I don't think they're for me. So that's probably my only one.
I'm just like completely all over the place. So I probably am the opposite of somebody who would have a ritual.
Yeah.
Like I just forget everything, and if I'm too organized, it feels wrong.
Yeah.
I got to be disorganized. That's my ritual.
Has to be concerned that there's something left at home.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I feel like I'm missing something here.
Yeah. Have forgotten the footy boots a few times.
Mouth guard.
Yeah. Yeah, socks, never there.
And we'll finish up with this one last one, which is, what will be your advice to people out there that should get involved in footy, especially down there at Mayne Tigers?
I think I speak to a lot of girls when people ask me what I do on weekends or whatever, and they say, "Oh, I've always wanted to play AFL," especially now since women's, the Brisbane Lions was so successful. Yeah. We went to Subway the other day, and this girl was like, "Oh, I've always wanted to play AFL." So I think we hear that a lot, and my advice would just be to come down. Like, we're not that scary, and also everyone, pretty much most women, haven't had much background playing AFL except for when we're tiny doing that little
it
AFL
used to be
thing.
I don't know if you guys are the same in Melbourne, but like in South Australia you'd have Auskick up until you're about 9, and then for girls everyone was kind of told to go play netball or basketball, like, because there wasn't anything. So it's so good that they'd have that now.
I think so. If you're going to come down, no one expects you to know how to do anything.
No, so. I think my advice would be to try and get involved in a club in pre-season, really try and get that December, January, find a club or find a new club or something. You don't have to know anyone, but obviously if you want to go with someone, that's always good too. But try and get involved in pre-season, because that is where you'll really get a feel for the skills, the girls in your team, like what team you want to be in or whatever. I think it's a lot harder to join a team during the season. And you'll feel so much more confident if you get that pre-season. So
agreed.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. Obviously, your game's coming up in about 2 hours' time in Morningside, and let's hope you can keep rolling on this 2-game winning streak now, hopefully to make it 3 by the end of today, and hopefully that climb up the ladder continues with a win against Morningside.
Yeah. Emily's going to kick some goals.
I'm going to kick some goals. Got to make sure I've lost all my possessions beforehand. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
No worries. That's Emily and Cara. They're joiners from the Mayne Tigers women's football team. Of course, if you want to get down there, of course, obviously by the time this one's done, of course, probably won't be in time to go. Of course, make sure you get down to Morningside. But of course, their next 2 games are at home as well after this weekend at home at Mayne. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about getting involved with the Mighty Tigers in 2021. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Saturday edition.